Wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. Cracker Barrel CEO Julie Masino, better known at corporate headquarters as the betting favorite to win the upcoming third annual Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards. Julie Masino quit her job as a former librarian to become the CEO of Cracker Barrel. She's been on the job for about 2 years now. Now, in the span of 2 years, Julie has been able to accomplish something that was previously deemed impossible. Julie Masino has found a way to lose more money than the WNBA dump. At minimum, she has decreased the value of Cracker Barrel by $100 million. If you invested $100 in Cracker Barrel 5 years ago, the brilliance of Julie Masino has that $100 investment worth a cool $30. By 2030, your initial investment, it will be viewed as debt. They won't be sending you a dividend every quarter. They'll be sending you an invoice. $100 million in lost value. That is a rabbit turd in the pooper compared to the physical cash Julie Masino has lost. This rebranding, this launch of the new and improved Cracker Barrel, it cost the company $700 million. They spent $700 million to piss people off. You could have sponsored the WNBA for $70,000 and accomplished the same thing. To make matters worse, Julie Masino and the Cracker Barrel board of directors, they were warned about this. One of their top investors begged them. He begged them not to go through with this rebrand. But because he was a Trump supporter, because he refused to believe that Orange Man bad, Julie Masino and the board of directors, they chose to ignore him. You know, it's amazing how one decision can change your entire life. Oftentimes, when you're in the midst of making that decision, you have no idea how much it will impact your life until you're reflecting on it years later. Years ago, I was at the national championship game in Indianapolis. It was the game between Alabama and Georgia. It was a blowout by the second half. At one point during the game, I got bored and I looked at my phone. I noticed a notification from Hinge. It was a message from some girl. I hadn't been on Hinge in months. I had forgotten that I even had a profile. But I was bored of watching Alabama get their ass kicked, so I decided to take a look at the message. The woman was very attractive, very elegant. We started talking back and forth, and she tells me that she's got a 13-year-old daughter. For a single dude in his 30s with no kids who is used to thinking only about himself, that's usually a deal breaker. But for some reason, I decided to keep an open mind. I'm damn sure glad I did, because the woman I was texting with that Monday night in Indianapolis and throughout the next day on Tuesday when I was in Cincinnati, she is sitting right over there in the home office right now, and the daughter is sitting at the kitchen table eating junk food, getting ready for flag football practice. One notification, one decision to look at that notification and open it changed my life. Evenings at happy hour turned into evenings at football or soccer games. Weekends spent at the bar turned into Sunday mornings at church. One of the main reasons that my channel grew when it did, it's because I had 2 people to take care of other than myself. 4 if you include the 2 girls in the house with 4 legs each. I had 2 people to take care of, and that was all the motivation that I needed. My entire life changed one night in Indianapolis, and I didn't even know it. The same thing happened to Cracker Barrel. The only difference is, unlike my story, the story of Cracker Barrel, it does not have a happy ending. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel in the description below. Today on the second channel, I explained why the media is sabotaging Shedeur Sanders' NFL career. Now, the media, they are blaming Kevin Stefanski. They're blaming the coaching staff in Cleveland. They're claiming that the staff is sabotaging their own quarterback. I explain why the media is destroying his career and why the media is one of the reasons that 31 teams in the NFL passed on Shedeur Sanders. So if you haven't already, click the link in the description below, subscribe to the second channel. Headline at CNBC. Cracker Barrel responds to backlash over rebranding. We could have done a better job. Yeah. No shit. When I initially saw this last night, I was temporarily impressed with Julie Masino. For starters, she did not issue some doofus, insincere apology. She acknowledged her mistake and owned it. In the last few days, we have learned how much people care about Cracker Barrel. You have shown us how we could have done better at showing who we are and who we always will be. Not bad, right? One of the biggest mistakes corporations often make when they have pissed people off, they often make excuses. They come up with reasons to tell the customer why they're wrong. For some reason, CEOs have a hard time admitting when they're wrong. So when I initially saw this acknowledgement from Julie Masino, I was impressed with it. But then, Fox Business released a report this afternoon. According to Fox Business, on May 16, 2024, a disaster was born. That was the day Julie Masino had a phone call with investors and revealed her brilliant rebranding strategy. She called it a strategic transformation plan. Anytime someone is using big, meaningless words to describe something, it usually means that their idea is a steaming pile of polished poo. The polish, of course, is the big words they're using to describe it. For example, if a bird shits on my windshield and I describe it as a lovely, transformative gift from a fantastic species with wings. Although the description sounds nice, it doesn't change the fact that I have a freshly baked bird turd on my windshield. Julie Masino revealed her plans to investors to rebrand a company that did not need to be rebranded. The call was filled with corporate jargon. We are going to refine and strengthen positioning to delight existing and new guests. Translation: I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, and I'm reading a script that was written by ChatGPT. Now, most investors, they were supportive of the new plan. This sounds great! This woman is a genius! Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes! There was one investor, though, who thought this plan was a flaming ass fire. Sardar Biglari, I'm sure I am mispronouncing his name, so I'll just refer to him as Sir Wisdom, because he is clearly the only one at Cracker Barrel that possesses wisdom. Sir Wisdom owns Maxim Magazine and Steak and Shake. He's also a Trump supporter, which should have absolutely nothing to do with his business acumen, but it clearly did, because Julie Masino and the board of directors at Cracker Barrel, they ignored his warnings. They claimed that he was an activist investor. They're accusing Sir Wisdom of being an activist investor while infecting Cracker Barrel with the woke fungus. Someone please make it make sense. Sir Wisdom wrote a 7-page letter to shareholders warning them of this doofus plan. He said, Cracker Barrel is not a broken brand, but has a broken board. Sounds like wisdom to me. He put together a 120-page presentation begging Julie Masino to reconsider. Sir Wisdom didn't warn her once. He didn't warn her twice. Sir Wisdom warned Julie Masino 4 times that she was making a monumental mistake. He begged her to reject the woke fungus. Obviously, she refused to listen, and look at the end result. Between what they've lost in the stock market and the money they spent on rebranding, Julie Masino has lost Cracker Barrel $800 million. How in the hell does she still have a job? I'm sure one of the reasons that Sir Wisdom advised against this plan, it's because of who Julie Masino was trying to appeal to. Julie Masino wanted Cracker Barrel to target people between the ages of 18 and 35. Why? Last I checked, Cracker Barrel wasn't selling Pokemon cards. Last I checked, they weren't selling rainbow flags. Well, maybe they are now, but their primary customer base, they have no interest in buying them. Because the primary customer at Cracker Barrel, seniors, our grandmother, our grandfathers, people who are retired. Why would you neglect them to target people between the ages of 18 and 35? You know what grandma has that her 18-year-old non-binary niece does not have? Money. Why would you neglect a demographic with money to appeal to a demographic that's asking grandma for money? To make matters worse, Cracker Barrel organized an influencer event to market their rebrand. They brought in these doofus TikTok influencers to make it look cool to eat at Cracker Barrel. Check it out for yourself. Party was held in New York City last week. As you can see, the party is so dead, even the rats in New York City didn't bother to show up. This is a classic case of a CEO being out of touch. This is a classic case of a CEO making changes for the sake of making changes. Now, in Julie Masino's defense, Cracker Barrel was struggling, but I'm pretty sure the answer to those struggles was not to magnify them by making it worse. Now you're in a position to where it's unclear if Cracker Barrel will ever recover. You might think seniors are old, but I prefer the term wise. You might think seniors have amnesia, but I don't care how old you are. People never forget how you make them feel. And Cracker Barrel made their primary customer base feel neglected, betrayed. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.